Okay, cool. I think that'd be good. Okay. So, man, you got to tell me more about your podcast journey, bro. Okay. Can you hear me? So you're muted, I think. I can't hear you. Dang it. I can't hear you and my joint just fell.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Yeah, yeah. Take your time.
Yeah. We're gonna get this right. Let me see. What can I use to prop this up with? Oh, got it. Got it. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That works.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So here, I'm going to ask you some questions. Just say the first thing that comes to mind. I know if you're lying, and then we'll go through sort of what the questions mean. That's it. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
first question is, what's your name?
John, John Odom
Just
Jr.
first
Everybody
name.
call me Truzy.
This is just the first name.
Oh
John,
yeah,
maybe the. So what's your
Truzy.
name?
Truzy.
Okay. Okay. Tell me about yourself.
So I'm from Aiken, South Carolina, you know what I'm saying, the West Side. And I am a creative visionary, everything from philanthropy with my Will Right for Food endeavors to I'm the founder of Truzy by Truzy, which is also now known as Truzy World, which is a ecosystem, from a streetwear standpoint for the culture, by the culture. I am the culture. I think in two words, telling me about myself is I am the culture, and I'm doing everything I can to make sure that we're just pushing the culture progressively, as often as possible.
I feel you. I feel you, huh? Let me try going. I'm gonna remove you and have you come back in. You're a little buzzy. And just come back. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna kick you out, and then you just come back in, and
All
let
right.
me see if you a little bit. All right.
Okay. I might have to shut this door then. That might also be it. Let me
Okay.
see. Testing, testing.
Yeah, you straight.
Ah,
Okay.
it looked like it just switched back over.
Now
Let's
you look
see.
good.
All right. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I got you. You hear me?
Okay. Yep.
All right. So, first question: you walking through the forest? Is it daytime or nighttime?
Nighttime.
Nighttime.
For sure. Yeah.
Who you walking with?
God.
Okay. You come to an animal stuck in a trap. What type of animal is it?
Panther.
Panther, like a black panther. What type of panther?
Black Panther. Black
Uh,
Panther.
do you do you stop and help it, or do you keep going?
Help it.
Okay, you come to an object. It could be anything in the universe you want it to be. What is it?
Hmm. That's actually really good. Uh, a pen.
A pen. What type of pen?
Pen or pencil. Ink pen.
That you write with?
Hmm.
Okay. You come to a cup. What type of material is a cup made out of?
Oh, styrofoam.
Styrofoam. What's in it?
Water.
Water. Is it half empty or half full?
Uh, based on perspective and perception. For me, it's half full.
Half full. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, I forgot the darn questions.
Yeah.
uh, uh, half full. Made out of. You come to a body of water. What type of body of water is it?
Ocean.
An ocean. How do you get past it?
Go through it.
How? What you gonna do?
I'm I'm gonna have to build a canoe of some sort and find my way through it. I don't. I honestly build a bridge.
Build a bridge across the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you get past the ocean, you see a wall. How many feet tall is the wall?
Doesn't matter.
How many give it feet? What does your mind say?
It doesn't matter. Honest. My
It doesn't
honest.
matter.
Yeah. My honest answer is it doesn't matter.
Okay. Once you get past the wall, what do you see?
Everything.
Because everything. You just see the entire universe.
I see all of my wildest dreams come true once I get past that wall. I see all of my ideas, all of the creations, all of the possibilities. It's hard for me to just narrow it down to like one thing. It's amazing you ask me these questions because it really taps into my mentality. So it kind of sounds like, where's it like, why would you want to build a bridge over the ocean? Because I got to get through the ocean and I really can't swim for real, you know. But I could figure out how to build a bridge. That wall, that wall is a true example of our mentality as human beings. You know, we want to create the ideology of, if the wall was a certain height, then we can imagine getting over it. I just know I can. It doesn't matter.
I feel you. Okay, so let's go through it. You said it's nighttime, so there's
Hmm.
something that you're afraid of. What are you afraid is in the dark?
Nothing.
Nothing. What
Nothing.
did you see in your mind? What are you afraid might be in the dark?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Like
Okay.
nothing at all. I mean, I'm from the country. I'm from South Carolina, so I'm used to walking with no lights at all and being able to see in the dark. So it's nothing that's going to be able to appear to me. Stepping in dog poop, I guess it would be like, oh my God, like that's a stench that you really can't just get off of you immediately.
Yeah.
Other
Pick it
than
up. And
that,
it's all in
yeah.
the yeah. Okay, so let's explore the stepping in dog poop in a figurative way. What would that be? Stepping into something that sort of stepping into some bullshit or stepping into something that
I just can't easily get myself out of. That would be equivalent to catching a case. You know,
oh
like catching a case, you can bond out, but unfortunately, you still in the system until they decide to close your case. So that's extra money, that's extra time, that's extra energy. That's no longer me being free, which personally, like that's everything that I believe in. It's like freedom.
yeah, so I see that you just can't get that off your shoe. It's going to take some trouble. You might have to throw the shoes away, or it's going to be most
Right.
definitely it's going to follow you. It's like even after it's over, it's like people like what's on what's that smell like? What's going
Yeah.
on? Like
And
you
even
can't
after
just sit
you
in
watched
the
it,
house.
it still just comes back to surface. Like, now it's muscle memory. Like, man, you smell it even if it's non-existent.
Yeah, yeah, I get okay. All right, that's deep. That's deep. You said God, that's the person that you're walking with, the person that you care about the most or the closest to. So that's real simple. God, you have faith in a higher power. So
Yeah,
that's deep.
it's just,
So
it's the I would say my answer of saying God is my second answer would have just been my son, right? But I can't walk with my son if I don't walk with God either way. You know what I mean? So like me being able to walk through that darkness, from darkness came to light. You get what I'm saying? So
I feel,
in that, let me take the creator, the most high, or allow the creator to bring me through the forest. And we ain't got nothing to be afraid of. We gonna make it through it.
Nah, okay. All right, I got you. So you said the animal was a panther.
Yeah,
So how you see people. So did you say a black panther or did you say a panther? What type of panther was it?
Black Panther, a Black Panther.
So you see people as, I mean, how would you describe a black panther? It's a beautiful animal, it's strong, it's most definitely
Mm,
striking. It's
yeah,
also
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Uh, Black Panther. It's striking. It's really. It's also gentle. It's pretty considerate, but it's fierce at the same time. You know, and it's you. I just recently found out there's really no such thing as a quote unquote black panther, like in an actual animal. It's literally just a panther that happens to be black, or a sort of cat, or that is the color black. So you could have a black leopard, or a black tiger of a sort, and those two would be considered, what we call black panthers. So it's the irony of finding a black panther is like finding, I guess you could say, the golden ticket for Willy Wonka, in a sense. Like, it's something special. I gotta bring that. I gotta save that because the rest of the world may not ever get a chance to experience it if I don't.
That's deep. Okay. I know well originally the Black Panthers were it was Stokely Carmichael, the Louds County political party, Democratic Party, I forgot what it's called. But anyway, so they chose a Black Panther because first of all, it was because of Clark Atlanta, the Panthers, but then it
Hmm.
was also because a Black Panther will only attack you if you attack it. It only attacks to defend itself.
Right.
So looking at it from the perspective of getting it out of the trap, getting a Black Panther out of a trap could be dangerous. I mean, ultimately you're helping it, but it could be dangerous, but it could also be helpful. So just looking at the way you deal with people, do you feel like you deal with a lot of people who, especially like in business, like you were talking about and working in the arts and being creative, where they're beautiful people, but at the same time, maybe there's some danger in the interaction with them, or how do you
Mm,
interpret?
absolutely. I interpret working with people now that I've had to go through my own journey and get a chance to truly, truly dive into my own psyche. I'm able to recognize that we all have traumas of some sort, whether it's from a personal or a business standpoint, that's internal. And oftentimes, the way we are able to interact with each other is based on that. Sometimes we run into these sharks, quote unquote, people that just are ferocious in business, may not necessarily be the best, most kindest people. I could be honest, I'm not the most kindest person. Well, I may not be the most gentle. I am kind, I'm very considerate. Um, but there's parts of me that's once I feel, and I'm using the word specifically of feeling, there's a difference between feeling and logic, of course. So the me and my feelings, once I feel tried, I'm like the Panther. Now I feel attacked. Now there's a point of where I kind of want to, show my teeth and show my claws as well. And you
Yeah,
run into those people, within that. But, they say that everyone, they say real recognize real. So I'm able to see genuine people because I don't think I have to say I'm a genuine person. But because of that, I also get a chance to meet a lot of those people who just face the internal battles that we all face. Most of us just don't know how to speak about it openly. So we hide behind clothes, materials, money, you know what I'm saying, status
yeah,
of that sort. And that's why you need someone like me, to represent the true nature of the culture that's like we understand pain, but also understand joy, understand vision, but also understand survival, you know. And that's where it really, really boils down to. So unfortunately in business we're taught to how what's the word, business is business, there's no emotions in business.
yeah. Being
And
cutthroat and being all that
right,
stuff.
but how far are you willing to be tread on until your emotions come to surface and you have to make a decision on, is it really about my business right now, or is this about me truly being able to save myself and my soul, from a longevity point of view.
I mean, that's a deep thing, especially dealing in creative aspects where your business is something that you actually care about beyond. I mean, I guess everybody, you sell a car, you build cars, you sell real estate, but it's like something that you created and that, you did it for free, basically, even if you are getting, they make Nikes for free and then people pay
Right.
them for 'em, whatever it is. And then having to deal with that aspect of just keeping the purity of your creation, and then also having to navigate, I guess, the financial aspects that can be with people who a lot of times don't have the ability you have to create things, and the only access they have to it is money. I'm gonna buy it so I can have this. It's like then now I made it too. So it's like you
you
can
know
make money, but they can't create
wow.
the things you create. So it can get ugly sometimes. But yeah, I get
Yeah.
that.
The when as you're talking about it, what I first just thought about, it's kind of different, but like the nine to five life, right? The ability to wake up every single day and go do something that you probably don't really care about, something that you don't have a lot of say so, ownership stake, you know, upside to outside of a paycheck. It's like you understand that kind of battle, you know, and people would say, hey, at least my bills are paid. So there are things that human nature, based on survival, it's almost like we're kind of put up against the test of whether or not we're going to just continue to do things for the sake of the thing that you're going to keep having to do, or do you start to generate and create things yourself, and whether or not make a dollar or not, I just want to live and die happy. You know what I'm saying? Whatever
Yeah,
that happiness may be.
that's why I always say, like, people who are able to sell, it's like when you look at when you're being creative or and I want money. Everybody wants money. I'm not saying looking beyond money because we want to get paid. But I'm saying like people who are able to just like sell insurance and they just go there and they become the best insurance salesmen. People who are able to just have a 9 to 5 job that's really just about, the hustle, making money. Is like, I envy them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's so, I wish I had that ability where it's just like I could just go sell a car, or it had to be, even if it's not something creative, I feel like a lot of times it has to be something where I'm invested in. Like I've worked with kids a lot, like in shelters and group homes and stuff like that. And it's like it's bigger than just the money. I mean, I want to get paid doing that too. Or, but sometimes it's like I wish I was the type of person where I could just be a marketing exec, or or just something where it was just like sell a car, or just, and just having the hustle and the grind and the focus of being able to do that. It's like I don't feel like I have the discipline for that. Where other people will look at it like, oh, I wish I could be creative, or I wish I could be that. And I was like, and sometimes it can be sort of a gift of the curse. It's a curse of like feeling like you have to do something. Like I have to write this, I have to do this. And a lot of times it not being a financial gain in it, or just being something that you have a passion for. And passion is good, but I wish it's good and bad on both sides. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, like, anyway,
No, I get it. I definitely get it.
yeah. So you were saying the cup is made out of styrofoam. So you aren't really a very materialistic person. Styrofoam is pretty just a functional material. It's also, it can be a little flimsy. It could be a little flimsy. So as far as looking at materialism or possessions, how do you correlate that with picking the styrofoam as the cup?
Oh man, am I thirsty or not? Do I just need something to put something in, and if it's going to do the job, I just can't really stress myself over spending too much time on the materials. You know, I know everyone's not going to necessarily agree with it. Some people want a glass, some people are going to want plastic. But for me, styrofoam is going to keep my water cold longer. right?
Uh,
So I'm thinking of intents and usage more so than just the material itself from the outside looking in, but what is the material made for? And I think that goes back to what you were just saying about passions. Um, Something that's truly important is that aligning ourselves with our purpose, understanding what our individual purposes are is why we're here in the universe, you know. And though for the average user, it's just a cup, right? But that cup has and it serves a purpose. Granted, you could put anything inside of a cup. You could put dirt, you could put sand, um, you can hold water, but that's probably what the usage is for. The usage is for it to keep coffee warm and keep, other colder beverages colder longer. For so everything, I think when you listen to me, you hear me start talking about longevity as opposed to just, worried about the moments right now.
I got you. So you look at possessions, a lot of times the functionality is something, it isn't something, it doesn't have to be, well, I won't name brands, but it doesn't have to be this fancy thing. It's just ultimately it's something that's used for pragmatic reasons
Right.
and not about the thing itself, but about, its value and usage or whatever.
Hmm. And that's where you get the most value out of it.
Right. And it could be disposed because it wasn't really about the cup in the first place. It was about being able to use it for some greater purpose or just some purpose, period.
Exactly.
Okay.
Isn't that
You
the
said,
human experience?
yeah. I mean, you learn that it's just like I bought I won't say what type of chain it was, but I bought a chain and it was it's a luxury chain and I ran out of money. So I tried to pawn the chain and the pawn shop wouldn't take the chain. They said it's worthless. But they took a cracked iPad. They took a
Yeah.
cracked iPad, but they wouldn't take this chain. And I was like, I spent a little chunk of change on this chain. So then I took it to this other place. It was like down on Melrose. Had those thrift stores and they got all
Yeah.
the this, that, and the third. And the lady was really nice and she was trying to help me. And she was like, it was an Asian woman, and she was like, "How much money did they tell you? How much money did they tell you?" In so many words, she was saying, "How much money did they trick you into thinking this was worth?" Because I'll try and be close to that. Because it's like she couldn't figure out a real worth for it because it didn't have a real worth. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like, and I just still got the chain, but I kept the chain because it had sentimental reasons because it was my father had uh he had this case or whatever, so that he got some money, and it was some money that he gave me, and I used to buy this worthless chain. So it sort of still has sentimental value, but I just realized like that's the last time I'll ever do that. And when you buy that stuff, you can't return it. It's like, nah,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It's like you got whatever, they ain't taking it back. So you
They,
just sitting
you,
there.
you got to melt it down, and they use that as a down payment for the next piece.
It doesn't have gold in it because that was the thing when I bought it too. I was like, is this gold? And just imagine a name brand. We'll say Jason. Jason is a name brand. So I was like, yo, is this gold? And the dude there, he was like, it's Jason Gold. Which means it's not gold. It's just like made out of this material.
Right.
It's it's costume, not they call it fashion jewelry. So anyway, so like
Yeah.
moving on. So I understand completely what you're saying. So you said you said it was water in the cup.
Hmm.
So basically same thing. It's just your life. It's just like you're looking at life. It's just the purity, the fundamental aspects of the essentials of life.
Yeah.
And you said it was half full, so you're a pretty optimistic person.
Absolutely. I'm a visionary. I have to be. I don't see, I see what doesn't exist, and then I see how it can.
Right.
I'm very
Okay.
solution oriented. So that's my mentality. I don't know why I'm like that, man. Like sometimes it causes stress because you kind of become the smaller percentile. of not focusing so much on the problems, but more so the solutions. And I mean, water is super essential. We're 70% water. The world's 70% water. Um, and ebbs and flows, like if you're going to be anything, do you want to be like wind or be like water? Water can transform through any situation. Wind is just going to blow you all over the place,
That's
uncontrollable.
that's real. So you said the body of water was an ocean. So you're a very passionate person, a very loving person. Uh, I mean, the ocean is the largest body of water there is. So
Yeah, I'm a
so it's
Cancer.
based on a Cancer. Cancer.
Yeah,
My
you know what I'm
first
saying?
girlfriend. Well, I wish she wasn't my first girlfriend, but I guess really first heartbreak too. She was a Cancer. She was and then a lot of people in my family are cancers. My uncle, my grandfather was, well, they both passed away too. My aunt. Cancers are very loving, sensitive people. They can be they're very loving. They're very giving people. They also could be a little overly sensitive at times, or
Mm,
not, I
yeah,
won't say overly sensitive, but they care very deeply about stuff.
yo, we are they say we're like what's that? The nurturers of this quote unquote zodiac. And if you really look at it, we fall in the middle of the year. We're the balance between it all. I often hear people say that we're like overly emotional, very sensitive, and we're the proof that we are humans. I think like not being aware of how sensitive we truly are is proof of the desensitization of like the world. Like we literally have to, in everything we just talked about, from passions to purpose to business, the wall and everything is based on like how does it make you, what's the feeling that you have? And we're taught to it at very young age, we're taught to ignore your feelings, which means that you don't get a chance to truly know yourself. Like, does, me being able to sit here with you and talk, the call that we had earlier, that brought me joy, that brought me happiness. Guess what? I'm able to articulate that because I'm being honest with myself and say, I'm happy because of, and it adds to the happiness that's truly on the inside of me because I don't have to walk around wearing masks. I think we might be the most honest out of everyone. Everyone else is kind of like wearing masks and putting on costumes. They're more trying to dance around the situation. We're like, nah, let's go through it. However, however it turns out, we just got to go through it and let me show you that it is okay to be human.
No, that's real. That's real. Like I said, what makes you laugh, makes you cry, what makes you live, can make you die. So
Yeah.
being sensitive, that's a beautiful thing. And I'm not saying being, you know, sensitive is a bad thing either, but it's just the dynamic of everything.
Yeah. And it's cool, right? Like what's we have what is it? Five senses, six senses, five senses, right?
Yeah.
So you hear, you see, you taste, you smell, you feel. So we have all of these things, but just look at where we are as a society. We can see BS and not we're not supposed to acknowledge that it's BS, right? We can smell crap because I don't want to curse on your joint, you know what I'm saying? But like we can smell crap and you're supposed to ignore that it's crap. I can feel pain, but I'll have to suppress it so that I can make you comfortable. Like, no, senses are there for sensitivity purposes so that, and it's these are all sensory glands that's, going through our body to let our organs know what needs to be done whenever it needs to be done. And if we ignore it, guess what? We die
Yeah.
faster,
That's
so
that's
I love that, bro. And I'm glad I'm speaking up for you know what I'm saying? I'm June 29th, June cancers, July cancers.
right.
Yeah,
Respect.
like we got to speak on this more often, man.
Nah, I mean, I ain't hating. I'm appreciating. Like I said, my
For
grandfather and my
sure.
uncle were cancers, so they're gone now. But then you said the body of water. We said you're very passionate, but then you said that you build a bridge over it, so you feel like you're sort of. First, you said a canoe. You build a canoe, which is something handcrafted. You said you build it yourself, not even just have a canoe. It's just something that's handcrafted. But then you said you build a bridge. So do you feel like in some way maybe you're avoiding or sort of trying to not avoiding love or connection
Mm.
on some level right now?
Yeah, for sure.
Are you in
Absolutely.
a relationship or
Yeah, I'm in a relationship with myself right now. Like in a sense of I can't really love anyone until I truly learn how to really, really love me. And it's
okay?
going to be truly unfair for me to give halfway love to anyone and
Yeah.
receive halfway love until I truly learn what it means to, be that for myself. And in that, that's one of those things of ebbs and flows that you learn in life. And it's like, dang, I wish I didn't have to learn that right now. But I'm so glad because I think it's also encouraging my loved ones to dive a little deeper within themselves as well. So I don't want to say that I'm not in a relationship. I've always been in a relationship. I'm just in a real relationship with myself right now.
No, I get it. I feel like that's a journey, especially it's a journey. Yeah. So I understand
Yeah.
completely. But it's, having an ocean, you obviously have a large capacity or desire for love. So that must be tough too when you're sort of focusing on maybe not having it or just focusing on yourself at the present moment.
It actually it is. And what I've been able to do recently is being able to articulate my truth and literally just say, I'm not in a place to give the level of love that I would like to give. Now, and in along this journey, I'm able to give you at this level without me wanting the expectation of anything more than, even what I'm able to learn and give, from myself and for myself. So that kind of allows the people around you to blossom and to grow without us like we hold each other hostage, man. Like, let me hold you hostage and handcuff you until I figure myself out and then I'm able to give you all of me. I don't want to do that. That's damage. I'm sending people through therapy and I got heartbroken a few years ago honestly in the worst way. And you're talking about a 4-year process basically that I'm just now getting out of mentally and emotionally. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, it's allowed me to do the real work and not just want to hide up under different people so that I don't have to face my reality. And my reality is I'm a black young man, that's like traumatized in ways that I'm just now able to truly, truly speak out about, and I realized that because I'm raising a son, I have nephews and, my partners have, just so on and so forth. I want to be that beacon of light to say we got to do the real work on ourselves so that we can really be leaders, you know.
I got you. You said you have a son, so was not getting in your business. I'm
Yeah, you
lying.
good.
Sure.
Yeah,
You
you
said
no, you cool. you
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 said
can ask
you
me
have a son.
anything.
Was the heartbreak with your son's mother, or was it with somebody else? Or
It was with someone else. But it just so happened that like my first heartbreak, I guess, was like with my son's mom, but I caused that, and that was just being a young cat that's trying to figure this thing called life out. And I I guess maybe I had to learn from my mistakes in that sense because, unfortunately but unfortunately, we're not together anymore. But she is like one of my closest friends. So it's really, really dope being able to raise a child with like your homie, where it's like, man, I don't even know if we was ever together. You get what I'm saying? Like, man, that's my partner. But then you're talking about that last one, that was like, we lost a baby, and then we just wound up having to go our separate ways in a really way that I didn't want to. Um, and I guess it was really necessary. And I mean, honestly, bro, it's my business partner. You get what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't just personal. This was someone that I like helped and helped me. We built businesses and we planned like empires with. So when you kind of just get met with like, I betrayed myself. I don't want to give away all the credit. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes no one can do to us what we don't allow. So I really betrayed myself, and I'm now having to learn how to trust myself again, man, in a way that I've never had to experience before, which meant really peeling back the layers all the way back to birth and inching each way to say, how did we get here so that we can get out of here? And that's why I talk about the darkness in the forest. It's like, I just need God, because John, on the real, my phone didn't ring for 3 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? I disappeared from social media. I was in the darkness, and it was really just me and God for real. Like, I moved to Houston, with my lady. So we wound up like, and she's on her personal journey now, on just wanting to build up herself. But me and the young lady before that, that was my business partner. And I don't know if you've ever like built something and made money with, what I mean, your spouse. That's a different level of energy and synchronicity that happens. And to watch a ship like blow up the way that it did, it's like, whoa, almost unforgivable. And I've just recently got to a point where I was able to just like not only forgive her, but forgive myself, so I could begin moving, into what this next chapter is, which is crazy, actually. There's so much that's happening. So, yeah.
No, I get it. I mean, especially with being something creative and like the element of the care or investment you have in what you were creating and losing a kid. I mean, that's going it's going to be a tough little journey for both of y'all, or just for the relationship and the connection. Period.
Yeah.
It's going to be yeah. No, but when you're talking about forgiving yourself, I'm actually divorced, so. And I remember when I first got divorced, I didn't feel that bad about it. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh, she did this, she did that. And we didn't really, I can't really say we were just young, stupid, hard headed. It wasn't like someone was such a horrible person, in my opinion. She probably thinks I ain't shit. That's fine.
Yeah.
But, and I remember I was reading something and it said the road to bitterness is looking at what other people have done to you instead of looking at your own responsibility in the situation. And we didn't really do that much to each other beyond just be hard headed and just, but when I started looking at it from the perspective of my responsibility as opposed to what she did, it was so like I started feeling bad, and and it was really the road to processing it and healing it. So I understand what you're saying, forgiving yourself, or and just taking the time with yourself, because that's regardless. That's the key, because if you don't do that, it's just like you look at bitter people, and that's how they became bitter, because it was just constantly looking at what other people and other situations had done to them instead of looking at their responsibility. And it doesn't have to be the responsibility of I kicked this person, or but why did you? What did you learn from this situation? How and how did you get into that situation? And
Yeah.
so how
Yeah.
old are you? I may ask.
I'm 36. I just turned 36 in June.
I got you. Yeah. So,
Yeah. I'm old, man.
bro, you can't say it by I take 36. I was still playing basketball. I can't play basketball like I used to. Shoot. 36 ain't old. And it's around the time, like the things you're going through and learning and realizing, that's around those times. So
Yeah. Like, I feel I actually, I'm a lot more wiser. I'm a lot more intelligent, a lot more fluent. You know, finally, I think I've always, I mean, not think, I've always just been myself, and it's like the culmination of all that, right? Now is where, hey, this is what it is. These are, I never, let me say, I'm gonna say this. As a man, I've never had boundaries. Never thought of it, right? We just like, we have things we like, things we don't like. But it's like up until recently, I was realized like, man, I've been so kind of flexible with my my negotiations and things. And because of that, I allow things, I don't know when to pull back, or I didn't know. And that's one of those lessons that I learned is, yo, you got to be able to cut when it's time to cut. You got to know when to move and be willing to just move with the flow of life, no matter how it makes you feel. The feelings are honest because that's the human aspect, but you also got to get out of the way of the creator, man. Sometimes the creator is doing more for you than what you realize, but we just want to hold on for the comfort, and I don't necessarily want to be comfortable all the time.
Now, the truth of the matter in that is, it's not having boundaries, but it's also, and I, and I'll say for myself, it's not having
Go ahead.
standards. That's what this is. It's the standard of like, oh, kidding, like, oh, what I mean, all this other stuff. I don't get. And I went through that too. I met this woman, and it was really sort of like the evolution. It was a good evolution and a bad evolution. The good part was I was met this woman who was bad. She was bad, body, face, and everything. And I didn't really like, the way she treated me, or just it wasn't just the way she treated me, just who she was. And but I didn't care. Like, who cares? Like, what I mean, she's pretty on the outside, and whatever. If you like it, I love it. And
Yeah.
then one day I just looked at her, and maybe it speaks to how shallow I was or am. And I just looked at her and I was like, I don't like you. I don't like you as a human being. I don't like you as a person. And it was like she split in half in front of me. And I realized that who she was on the inside and who she was on the outside were two completely different people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it really didn't matter.
Yeah.
That's like outside. But I was like, you aren't that great of a person, in my opinion. And you're not the type of person I really want in my life. But in the past, so what? You know what I mean? So it's like, you're bad though. You fine, you have a body. And I started looking really at myself of, I'm the shallow person. And I allow these dynamics and situations to happen because of I guess in my, like you were saying, boundaries. And it's like, and I thought it would make it easier to connect with people, women, but just on that level, when you start looking beyond just like, with money, looking beyond the money, or looking beyond, in business, or just a lot of things, or just with women, their physical appearance, or just thinking of things on the on the level of sex. But it made it harder because there's a lot more to a relationship or interaction than those surface things. And then it's like,
Yeah.
so I
That's
get,
real. Nah, that's
I
that's
get,
definitely real. And it's the I guess that's like life's journey of with your if you're really looking to continue to evolve and ascend to where you're truly meant to be, then those are things that I guess we all have to go through. And it makes you realize how often have we just fallen in love with a person's body, not necessarily knew what they were like, what they were really about, what they truly believed in, um, any of that. It was just she bad, right? Like, and
yeah,
we're and as as fellas, bro, we look for eye candy all the time. Like, man, she thick, well, look at she like look at her eyes, you love her, whatever is on the outside. And ironically, that's enough for us to get like the or give our attention, want to show some sort of attention and attraction to, and that leads to so much more as opposed to, can I just study you, and really study the full aspects and ask the real questions. But guess what? You can't ask questions that you're not asking yourself. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we're so that's the I got to create a standard for myself before I have a expectation of anything else.
yeah, and just like having had real heartbreak, you realize, I realize a lot of it is it's a heartbreak, but you're investing, I won't say too much of yourself, but too much of yourself has gotten tied into something that you had to find in yourself. So when you
Hmm.
lose that person, you're also losing a part of yourself, but you're not really losing a part of yourself. You're losing a part of yourself that you taken from that person that you didn't have yourself. So it's like, you have to sort of, I was like, that happened too, this woman. I was like, I was so hurt. And I sort of like, why was I so hurt? Or, because it's like I couldn't lose this person, but it was really, it wasn't so much you were losing that person. You were losing a part of yourself that they given you. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm,
it's like maybe it's just a place of a feeling of home or security or confidence, or just you're just afraid to be alone. But it's like a lot of times when you have those really, traumatic things happen, but you sort of look at it, you have to sort of look at it like, what did I leave behind with that person? Or what did that person give me that I feel like I can't leave behind?
yeah,
And it's part of it is, love is love. You're going to be heartbroken, but part of it is just you went into a situation not as complete as maybe you should be. So like sort of the journey you're on now, that's a good thing. You know what I mean? You sort of see
absolutely.
that trying to find the completeness in yourself. So you're complete, and then you just go out and find someone to sort of take along the journey.
Yeah.
Like as
And
a
I
person,
mean, take you might have to take a few with you along the journey. I don't, depends on you how you know what I mean. How you want to kick it, you're gonna kick it how you kick it. Like but don't you. This is man. We only have a short period of time here. You know what I'm saying on this journey, and just think, I'm 36. It's a lot that I'm just now starting to understand and realize. Um, I'm I had knowledge before. Now I have now I'm gaining more wisdom in how to actually apply the knowledge.
yeah,
So it's there may be people that come along that are able to help guide us through, and sometimes I can't speak for everybody. Sometimes you may just need to free yourself in a sense so that you can truly expand your wings. But if we just carrying everything and everybody, man, you can't take you won't be able to necessarily get off the ground. You really won't to, not in that manner. So I just being able to take those taking the restraints off, taking the titles off of things, like do we want to own people? I don't want to own nobody. I just want to experience people in the way that they're truly meant to be experienced. And we could go along this journey side by side in support of each other. But I don't want to be hindered, and I don't want to hinder anyone.
yeah. With the bridge over the ocean, though, it's like you have a large capacity. It's sort of, I'm just saying. I'll tell you, I'm 53 years old, so and I found this with myself. Like I did sort of the same thing of like, I'm gonna take some time to myself. The dangerous part of taking time to yourself though is that you can get cool with just being alone. You know what I mean? Like on the
Yeah.
other part, and then it becomes harder to sort of make connections because if you don't make connections, then I'm just by myself. And we know everyone gets lonely, no one wants to be alone, but it isn't that bad. I can make peace with that, and you can go the other way of just sort of making peace with being alone. And
Mm,
I don't even mean
yeah.
that on a level, just like stuff like this. Like, when you're creating stuff, you spend a lot of time alone. Like if you spend a lot of time alone, and that was one of the things, like I write, and I just realized how much time I just spend alone. And I could be alone in a crowded room or alone in Starbucks writing all day. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to do this too, is sort of like an interaction, and this sort of like showing how universal we all are, but having some type of connection to the world too, and then sort of sharing that connection with the world. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, I'm 53. I'm 53. I don't care what I don't give a fuck. I'm 53.
Oh
So it's
yeah,
like,
man. You OG.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically, yeah. So it's
Like
like, you find yourself, but keep be open to, and I'm talking to myself too. I'm telling you something. I'm, that I'm trying to work on. You got to be open to keep yourself open to the possibilities of whatever connections
yeah.
with on all levels. But
Right.
family, friends, love, all that stuff.
Hey, and I gotta throw it in because I have a cousin, rest in peace to my cousin Alex. He once told me when I was like a little lot younger, I was wild, and he said, "Man, because you can't hit them all." And I was like, "Yes, I can. Like, why not? That's what it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. They." And he said,
Shoot.
"No, bro, you can't hit them all because if you hit them all, what you're gonna do is you're gonna ruin the purpose they were sent to your life, right?"
Yeah,
And I think that oftentimes as a male, we kind of look at women, and I hate to kind of join on that wagon, but we do look at them like just as physical attractions, physical creatures. And I mean, women really do have the ability to multiply so much if we provide that for them and being willing to do so without just trying to overly complicate it. Because I also have to recognize that I'm dealing with a truly emotional uh, human being, like truly that where, typically their emotions are going to come first. I'm looking from a logical standpoint as well. And being once you start crossing over certain lines, you now hinder what the potential of what you all could be. Who knows? Me and the lady I referred to, like we probably could have just and probably should have just been great business partners. But sometimes you know what I mean, you things happen, you
yeah,
wind up and everybody go crazy after they get Truzy for some. You know? So like that's just that comes with it. That's the nature of the beast. But I mean, go ahead.
nah, you go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Yeah, but honestly, there's a once you begin to transfer over that energy and those spirits, you better be ready for the ride, whatever that ride is. And a lot of beautiful things transpired, you know. And unfortunately, if you got clean water, I told my brother this the other day, like when you have clean water and there's a piece of dirty water that drops inside the clean water, that water is now dirty, right? But if there's dirty water and you take a little bit of clean water and drop into the dirty water, that water still appears to still be dirty because it takes you getting all of the dirt out to make it clean water versus, getting in order for it to just remain that way, for a lack of better words.
Yeah, and I've realized, and not like I had a whole bunch of women, but
Yeah.
you end up living in the house you built of, especially, and I can't speak. I'll say being a black man, it's a real small world, and like the connections between people, and women don't tell you, but women talk,
Yes.
and women are always going to leave a situation like, I won't say always, but you were the problem. And a lot of times you were. So it's sort of like I went to Howard, and Howard, or living in LA, the sort of quote unquote Hollywood scene, or
Yeah.
Atlanta. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The connections, and it's sort of like you meet some girl in New York who went to Howard, and then it's sort of like, do you know John Fisher? Who knows John Fisher? Or who
Mm-hmm.
knows? A lot of people do. And then
A
it's sort
lot
of
of
like
people.
everyone's behind, and you end up, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you know? Do you know Bianca? Do you know this? And you're like, who the fuck is like, and they have some, and then everyone has this deep insight into who you are. Like, I went off her one time, she didn't even like me, but suddenly, it's sort of like they're all, so be careful too, because then it's like, and I'm not like I'm always completely. I mean, I'm a man. I've had good, bad, ugly.
Right. Yeah.
Probably a lot of women who can say I ain't shit. Excuse me, a lot of women who can't say I ain't shit, but it's like they can say I wasn't shit 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
completely involved. So it just
That's dope.
you
The
can't, like I
journey.
said, yeah, the
Yeah. The
journey of
journey. And I think that what I'm realizing about life is each of those people that we kind of encounter, man, it's like in our mind, everybody says like I'm dating to marry, and maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we're literally just put there to ignite what's needed for them along their journey. Sometimes we're literally just put inside someone's life to teach them something that they're going to need along their journey. You may not just be my person, in its totality. We just have a season. So can we just enjoy our season, and support each other, going forward where we don't have to necessarily, be as y'all say in LA, dirty macking. Like I don't want to dirty mac your name and you don't want to dirty mac mine. But what I can say is like I have to take full responsibility of the things that I've done, if I've done those things, and take none for the things I haven't done. But sometimes we have to just allow those seasons to serve its purpose so that we continue moving on purpose, in purpose, and with purpose. And that's
yeah,
that's one of social media has made it almost, I'm not gonna say impossible, but that's not a common conversation that's being held, where like we're here to experience so that we can gain wisdom and move forward with. Everybody's not going to be for everybody for a lifetime, you know. So I'm just as a man, I just want to make sure that I give ladies and the queens like true a great experience. I want them to say, you know
right,
what,
right.
yeah,
I
like,
know.
hey, I just, I just want to give out like a great experience. I want to say like, man, no matter what, I'm not necessarily built on them loving per se. What I'm built on is like when it's all said and done, do you still have respect for me? You know what I mean? Because that's the like, can we still have a level of loyalty to each other? The love is emotions for the most part that I have to decide every day if I want to love you. I don't necessarily decide if I'm gonna be loyal to you because I'm loyal to myself. You know what I'm saying? And I do respect myself. I'm like you. I didn't I'm not the guy that just had all the girls per se, but I had my share. You know what I'm saying? They was,
Feel you.
you know what I mean? Yeah, nice pickings for sure, for sure. But
I feel
but I always wanted to just make sure that, you know, if you've ever, been around me, you can say, man, next time you get around the next cats or whatever's going on, you're gonna always remember that like, man, he put me down on some game that changed my life. He really uplifted me, not put me down. So that's what it's about.
no, that's real. I was gonna say, well, you said it all. Shoot, nothing to say about that. Can't
My
really put
fault.
nothing else on it. But you said the wall. You said you don't know. What did you say? You said you didn't know how tall the wall was, or it
Yeah, I
doesn't. No,
said
it doesn't matter how tall the wall was.
right. It don't matter. Doesn't matter at all.
Well, the wall represents sort of the trials and tribulations you've had in your life. The taller the wall, sort of the more trials and tribulations. So, but you sort of answered the question with your answer. It doesn't matter the trials and tribulations that you've had.
Yeah, it's like I almost feel like I done experienced a lot, lot, and um, I kind of wrote about this a couple, like maybe a week or so ago. Like I am the product of just jumping over the wall, climbing over the wall, not getting around it, getting over it. So it's impossible for me to just imagine this wall that I can't get over. You know, Now, will it be hard? Have you ever climbed a mountain before?
Stone Mountain.
Well,
Not really.
that's what I mean. That counts. That counts. So that your first couple times of getting up there, if you don't learn how to pace yourself, you kind of like winded. It just feels like it's, and every
Right.
time you get to a point where you could see a little bit, you're like, this is the top, right? They're like, nah, we got another two levels. Like, oh,
Right. Yeah.
okay. And as you begin to go in that last climb, which just feels like it's straight up, right? You have to dig. It takes something inside of you. I know what I'm built of, and that's why my answers is what it is. That I don't have any doubt in my mind of what I'm made of, because part of the reason you and I are sitting here right now is because like I had to really climb through some walls, man, climb over some walls. So it don't even matter what the wall is, bring it. I got it in me.
Well, I did ask you, and I guess that's why you sort of can't miss stuff, but it was the wall easy to overcome, easy to climb, or hard to climb?
Hell no. Man, it was terrible. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're talking about the walls have been, man, yeah, a part of me died each time.
Yeah.
And it was a part of me that at that point in time, I really, really like held on to now. Like, I really had to kill a part of myself each time, and it's scary to admit that, but it's so refreshing once once you get over and you realize why that was necessary. I can't the plane can't take off with so much baggage. So whether me trying to cultivate my visions, and it led me to I was homeless. I took some risks that I know like my parents may not be proud of, my family may not be proud of. Everybody kind of pats you on the back once you get over the wall, but when they see that you're even trying to get over the wall, it's like, why you want to make your life so hard? And it's that I just have something in me that just doesn't sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't lay dormant, and I've done everything that I can to do so. And guess what happens? John Fisher calls me and say, "Hey man, can we do an interview?" You know what I mean? Like, guess what happens is my business partner gets the email that says, "Hey, this is being considered for Record of the Year for next year's Grammys." Like, things happen in real time of that. Just it keeps me having to meet new
What's up?
walls, bro. Yeah,
Yeah, the wall to be I won't say bad things, but just trials and tribulations, just trials and tribulations and success, trials and tribulations.
yeah.
Yeah, earlier about the mountains, like I climbed some, but what we have out here is like the canyons, like Runyon Canyon, and it's like it's hiking,
Hmm.
and so I guess that's a better analogy of what you said. You know what I'm saying? Like just the climb to get to the top, but also the levels or the way you go up. Like you go up the easy way, which isn't that easy, or the harder way. Like I go down the harder way that time, but like going up that way, it's like, yo, it's like I don't know if I'm there yet. But you know what I'm saying? You keep
Yeah.
going, or you maybe to a certain. So with the canyons, or even this one down the street, I didn't even. I took the hike to the canyon. Then it's like, oh, but that was fun just anyway. But so I get it. But and you said once you got over the wall, you saw everything. So basically, that's what you're working for. It's like once you get over the wall to sort of all your dreams, all your desires. So what does it look like though?
Oh
What do you see?
man, what I see is opportunity, not for myself, but like for the people, for my community. You know what I mean? For the culture. Like, when I got over the wall and continue to get over, what I see is more possibility, more innovation. Um, it showed me that I didn't dream big enough to start, and I thought that I've dreamt super big. And then after getting over the wall, that's all I see now. It's like, oh, now that we scratched off all these vision boards, right? Those are equivalent to those walls. You scratched off everything on your vision boards. And now you're at a place in life where it's like, man, I actually got to create a whole new one now, like because we've done that. What haven't we done yet? And that's when you're able to say, wow, there's so much more that I haven't accomplished. It's a lot of it's a lot I haven't accomplished. And, you know, just wanting to make sure that like my son and my niece and nephews, like they actually just get real shots at being whatever it is that they really want to be. That's what means the most to me. I see a school in my neighborhood where I grew up. Like that's what I see. I see um, going through homelessness and then creating Will Rap for Food, because of that. In the middle of that, because I recognize that, man, people really ain't coming to, look out for the community, but you got figures that we're constantly taking from the community, but we're not necessarily giving to the community, bringing back our information and, resources in the right way. So, like, I see me being able to create jobs, back in my hometown. And, I want to, wow, I gotta, you know, I see Super Niggas, which is my company. I'm one fourth owner of Super Niggas. Shouts out to Mark,
Tell me
Monzel, you know what I'm saying, Roman.
about that.
What you say?
I said, tell me more about that.
Ah man, that's so Super Niggas is actually a universe where, these gentlemen, Monzel Dozier and my boy Roman Music and Mark Joy, they brought me into this fraction of this faction rather, where we're creating another universe, another ecosystem of technology, where it's our video games, it's apparel, it's books, it's music, it's film, it's education, it's history, it's like every single thing that would make our ancestors proud that, like when we talk about, like Stokely and Huey and Assad, like when we talk about what the Black Panther Party stood for, what Malcolm stood for, you know, just what our figures really stood for, and you get four of us together, and we begin cultivating just that in a way of today for the future. That's like Super Niggas is crazy. My guy Mars is, he's a huge part of it. Slink Johnson is a huge part of, Black Jesus. Like just and so like being able to take the South and the West Coast and merge them together and create this entity that, is just opening up so many more opportunities, so many doors for us, because it's really from for the culture. And if as you've known me, everything I've ever said is like, man, are we doing this for the culture or not? Like when are we going to take control over our own destiny of the culture? It's never for the vultures, it's always for the culture. So like super negus, Negus, you know what I mean, which is like the with super royals. Like that's really what it's about, man. And I'm just so thankful to be a part of it. And I'm also really, really glad and I could appreciate the headquarters being out in LA, LA, AV, Lancaster area, just to give that what's the name, Queen Califia or Califia, like that's what it's about. Can we take history and bring it to the future for the youth in a nutshell?
Yeah, you said earlier, real will rap for food, which is pretty
Yeah.
self-explanatory. What exactly is that?
Oh man, Will Rapid Food is a community initiative. Like I didn't necessarily create a nonprofit. I created a community initiative because when I was homeless, what you learn is that the homeless people, there's a community within the community of homelessness,
Yeah,
and they typically look out for each other. I didn't necessarily want to create a nonprofit straight out. I wanted the community to say, "Hey, I see you, you see me, we're one." Right? So I believe it's our job, similar to very, very in the same vein of the Panther Party breakfast, like the breakfast situation. Like that's that's literally what it was for me was I reached out to my partner Tone Jones in Aiken, South Carolina, like, hey, would you like to be my project manager? And he and I, we just put our heads together and we started, we able to collaborate and partner with food banks, especially in like the CSRA, Central Savannah River area. And with that, we've been able to feed like I think maybe about 3,000 people. And now I'm just looking to branch that out to the rest of the country, where we'll rap for food, but I'm not rapping. I'm just using that idea. Andre 3000 said on the record where he said, you see me holding up a sign saying, on the side of the road, holding up a sign saying, we'll rap for food. Like, that's what is it that we're doing this for? Everything that we're doing, we say that we're doing it for money, but man, we really just want to eat. You like when you down to nothing, right? All you want to know is not what's the newest car. It's not what's the newest clothes. It's not even about necessarily the shelter. It goes down to the bare simple essentials of, can I eat today? And what will it take for me to eat?
Yeah.
And being able to just feed our people, so that they could think. Now you could think of a job. Now you can think of somewhere to lay your head and all that good stuff. But if you don't have if your brain is not receiving the proper nutrients, then what do we have? So that's
Right.
like one of my pride and joys, man, is just being able to really create Will Rap for Food. And we ready to bring it out to the West Coast, So let's line that up.
No, that's real. Like you were saying earlier about the water and the styrofoam cup, just the fundamentals. It's sort of like, got the fundamentals in place before you can do anything.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So Aiken, that's right on the other side of Augusta, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I lived in Augusta. It was a long time ago. Actually, a girl who broke my heart. I won't say whatever, but I
They
moved
gonna
down there.
do it.
It
They
was,
gonna do it.
I'm from Athens, and she went to the University of Georgia, so she ended up getting a job down there. She was a reporter or whatever, and I went down there with her. So we ended up breaking up. So that's why I moved or that's when I moved to LA. So I know
Yeah.
Aiken or that area pretty well. Yeah,
Yeah, Augusta is like a second home. Golden Harvest Food Bank, which is right behind. I think they're changing the name of the James Brown Arena, but Golden Harvest Food Bank, the Shepherd's Table is directly behind. James Brown Arena, like, so that's where we actually was able to get a partnership and being able to collaborate with them with our Will Rap for Food. So just keeping it home base. When I say CSRA, I know you know exactly what I mean. Like, that's
yeah,
a really, really prominent area for this region. It's a lot of gifts, a lot of talents, and I mean, if I wasn't from this section, I don't know where I would be, because I had to get my quote unquote slower routes in a sense. And not to say people are slow, but it is a slower pace of living than what I've grown accustomed to, over the past few years. But like, it's home, man. Like, that's my Aiken and Augusta is like, I see those, I light up. I'm like a kid in the candy store. Like, oh, I'm home. I can, my childhood memories exist there. Once I turned about 19, 20, I left and I moved to Atlanta, which isn't as far as me moving to Houston or moving to LA and all that good stuff. But like, you know, just being able to experience that, those places have actually brought me more appreciation of where I come from than ever
no,
before.
yeah. Like living in a place like Aiken or Athens, it's so like you want to get out. Like it seems so small and go all these places, but you get out, and Atlanta, LA, wherever, they're beautiful places, but
Hmm.
appreciate just the Richmond County, Washington Road, just all just
Going highway, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Of just what
yeah.
you came up in. So I get it. I want to ask you one more thing though. So when you go over the wall, what do you see though? What do you envision in your city? Like, do you see?
Oh man, what do I see? Mm. When I go over the wild, I see the sun. I
Okay,
see a blank canvas, and I see the sun. That's it.
that's a good end.